I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make 'em all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border,
what is going on? I'm finally fishing again, back at it, man. It's probably been almost a week since I last fished, and I'm back at the only pond I can fish at right now where I'm at. I mean, there's a couple times, a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks, where I did fish. Went to a reservoir, didn't catch anything at all. I mean, I didn't catch anything, my dad did, so I couldn't find the smallies like he could for some reason. But yeah, hopefully I get this morning bite. I have a spinnerbait on. I would be having my spinning set up, but sadly I broke my Dobyns Sierra rod a while ago fishing. Just a freak accident. So I haven't got that replaced yet. I sent it in the Dobyns, I haven't sent that back yet. I did pick up a new Shimano reel, as you guys seen, the Stratic, and then I did buy a Savvy Micro Series from Tackle Warehouse. But the day I got it out the box, it had 2 damaged guides on it, so I had to send it right back. Sad, because I really wanted to use that Stratic, throw the Ned rig, throw some wacky worms, because that's my go-to right now. That's the only thing I'm finding that I can catch fish on. And in the popper, I've just started to use the popper. Last time I used it, I was tearing them up. They were hitting it, smacking against the top water. But I was pond hopping, kinda. Wasn't really recording because I was out of town at a unfamiliar place. But there were just some, maybe barely 12 inches, barely a pound, small fish. Right now I'm not feeling the spinnerbait. Like, this rod, this very rod, I'll show you guys in a minute. It's supposedly made for spinnerbaits. It seems like this spinnerbait is way too heavy for this rod. I mean, the tip, it is a fast action tip. It's bending and I feel like the bait is struggling to pull it. I forget what ounce this was, but maybe this is a bigger Strike King swim bait. Has double hooks on. I think it's a little too heavy for this, but I don't have any other spinnerbaits I can throw right now besides this one. This seems like this is like I'm dragging it more than actually working the spinnerbait, sadly. But lately I've been trying out a new line. Before I was using Spiderwire 12-pound. And we were fishing at a reservoir, and the reservoir is basically covered around, the whole reservoir is surrounded by rocks. I want to say probably maybe from the bank, maybe 2-3 feet out, just covered in rocks. And I was throwing wacky worms, Ned rigs, bounce off the bottom of the rocks, and I would constantly get snagged and my line would get frayed and I would lose so many Ned rigs. And so I just decided to try a new line. I was going to go for CR Braid X. I went to my local Capillas since they had the sale, you know, because they're going out of business, the one I'm have in my area. And I went there and they had 0 CR in stock on the shelves. I guess they've been cleaning out and people are just buying up crazy. I picked up Berkeley's Trilene 100% fluorocarbon line just to try it, because I've been hearing nothing but good reviews from Mike Iconelli and Hunter Stratic and his brother. They use Berkeley 100% fluorocarbon, and I just been trying it out, and so far, I mean, the cast smooth, looks smooth. I had this sitting on this reel for maybe a week, sprayed some line conditioner on it, haven't used it since, just let it soak in. I'm busy working, but so far it seems smooth, it's sensitive. I can feel the spinnerbait moving pretty good. I haven't got a fish on it yet, so time will tell. Because I really wanted to go with the Cigar, a Brazex, on certain situations when I'm in rocks, because I want that extra protection against frayed line. And I could use braid, but some people say fish can see braid. They get line shy, so I don't know. I've used braid, nothing but braid on jigs, spinner baits, crank baits. Before, when I first started fishing, all I used is braid. I used Spiderwire. I think it was 20-something pound braid. It's super thin, smooth, strong, and I would throw everything on that. Everything I had in my tackle, I would just straight braid to lure, and I caught fish on it. So I'm not sure if that whole thing about fish being line shy is true. I guess the only true way if you can test that is get like a huge see-through tank and have two of the same lures and test out and see which fish get more strikes, but I have no idea. So who knows? Braid, the only problem with braid is you get knots in braid, and I had problems where I would try to chuck a lure out as hard as possible, and it just gets tangled up in the spool or somewhere along the lines, and a line would just get stuck and my lures go flying and snap off. And that's the only downfall in braid, is when it gets stuck or caught in a knot in your spool, just beware, because that either lure or hook are flying right at you, or you're losing that lure easily. And so far I'm only using braid as a backing to the spool, just because it lasts a lot longer and you don't have to put as much fluorocarbon on, because you never know, you might get a bird's nest and you might have to cut out your whole spool, and you don't want to do that. So I've been going to straight up braid with the fluorocarbon leader, not like short, like 12-inch or 12-foot or whatever. I at least fill like half the spool up with a braid, and then the other half with fluorocarbon, and I mean, I like it. And especially on my spinning reels, I go straight braid on those, and then I do the short leader on those for my spinning setup. And that's my line selection. Man, this pond is so pressured. I've seen little bait fish swimming, so that means some fish should be around here, but I haven't got a bite yet. Last time I came here, the only reason I got a bite because I was using the Ned rig. First cast, caught a fish, and then I was using a wacky worm, and they seem to love those two combos. The last time I caught a fish from a spinnerbait here was I want to say 5, maybe 6 years ago, and that's probably like the last time I caught a fish here on a spinnerbait. Hopefully I can catch something on this, which is right in this little area. I cast out there because these are usually where crawdads sit, and the bass I caught was a pretty decent sized bass. It's probably 15 inches or so, about 2 pounds, just pushing 2 pounds. I mean, I could tie on a Cinco and throw it on this, because this rod can handle Cincos. They can handle Cincos, jigs, flukes, text rigs, and spinnerbaits. I guess I'm just gonna mess with the spinnerbait for a while, see what I can get. I mean, I have another Theories Dobyns rod at home, the topwater rod. I still have to buy a reel for that. Was gonna buy the Casita. Shimano has finally put in the market new Shimano reels, so they got a new Corrado. They have, I think, it's either like a new Metanium or one of the higher end reels, where it's a DC reel. And then they have the Scorpion DC. Again, like I said, it was a Corrado. The Corrado looks sexy. It's like a matte black, or like a smoke black reel. It looks pretty nice. And then they have a lower end one. I think I seen that one on a Japanese JDM reel site, and it looked pretty sweet. But I guess maybe that particular reel has launched before overseas, before the United States. But I don't know. It looked pretty sweet. It was pretty much a black and gold reel with gold accents on it, and it looked pretty nice. I think it was the lower price range, around like $100 or so. So it's not too expensive. Who knows, I might still pick up a Casita. Those are probably like $130, not too expensive. So I might either pick up one of those, or I don't know, I might pick up a Corrado, the new Corrado, and they put the new Corrado on this rod, and they put this Casitas on my top water, or put the Shimano Corrado on this, and then put the Casitas on another rod. I have no idea. This rod right here, I don't really like it too much for jigs. It seems a little too not stiff enough for me. Seems like a little too loose. When I'm throwing a jig, I'm throwing not like a mini jig. I throw like a beefy jig. And for some reason, when they hit it, I try to set the hook, I don't get the right hookup. Like if I want to set the hook with this rod, I have to really horse it to just get it to really get a good hookup. That's why I feel like this rod is not good for jigs for my personal preference. I like a lot stiffer rod, and I might pick up a flipping stick for that, flipping punching stick for that, maybe throw jigs for that, because this rod seems like a little too giving. It doesn't have a big enough ratio of a backbone versus tip, in my opinion, so I have no idea. These fish are not biting right now. Let me move on down and see if I can get any bites down there. Okay, I see more bait fish right here, so that's a good sign, but they're small little bitty bass, I think. The water's kind of a little bit murky because of rain last night, but they definitely should be able to see the spinnerbait pretty easily still. And I'm getting nothing. I see little bait fish, but I don't see anything else. I guess I might have to throw on a sinker real fast. Don't see any other chance of catching it on anything else. These fish are really finicky right now. Super finicky. That spot right there is usually where the fish, or at least a big one, sits, because there's roots down there. Where are these bass at? They could be sitting out by the fountain, but okay, it's pretty deep out there by the fountain. It is pretty deep. Yeah, it's pretty deep out there. I mean, they could be out there deep. Can't really reach them, but I can try. Yeah, it's probably like 6-7 feet deep, maybe even more, because that took line out when that dropped. Yeah, there's fish. I've seen those fish. There's either very small bluegill or very small bass. But I definitely seen those fish run off. Could maybe throw like a, one thing I forgot. I bought new top toads and I forgot to put it in my bag. That's the one thing I forgot. My top toads. Dang, I doubt there's frogs over here, but still. I forgot all about putting those in my bag. And the first bird's nest of the day, just barely. Sun's out, spinnerbait. Let's get something going. I need to catch at least one fish, just one fish. I get one fish today, one bass. I check it off the mark. Don't have to catch 2, don't have to catch 5, just one. Then my day will be set. Oh, I can't find any fish today. I don't know what to do. I about went around this whole entire pond. Only fish I've seen were small minnow fish. I know they're not back in that small little pocket area back there, because the water's super shallow and the fountain's not on back there, so there's no action going to the water at all. Today is not the day. I could go try the other pond because there is shad in there. I'm throwing spinnerbait, so best imitates a shad, so I could do that. Could definitely do that. Just let me try this little back pocket over here. Because maybe I'm just throwing the wrong thing. I was throwing, what was it, Ned rig? It was like a weird greenish color and then an orange color, which I know there's crawdads in there in this pond, and they're pretty big. They're probably 4 or 5 inches long, and that's what I caught pretty big bass last time I caught here. A 2-pounder about was on that Ned rig. So I don't know. I guess one more cast and I guess we'll get out of here. I guess gotta scratch the day off as a no fish today. Well, I guess that's it for this pond. That was a bummer. It's early in the morning and nothing. Not a single bite.